Hello, everybody. I don't know if you've ever seen a review by a nigga and a wife beater, but there's a first time for everything. And today we are talking about Avatar, the live action. They did it much better. I'm so proud of Netflix for making these new adaptations that are done the right or done way better than anything we've seen before. I love how faithful they stay to sets, the environments, and the way everything looks. Most of the time is usually one to one or just like or almost exactly identical to the actual show that they're adapting it from. They also did a really good job making all the actors, and they chose really good actors that can sound like and look like the actual characters, but they did a good job choosing people, doing the good makeup, and making their personalities a lot like they are in the real cartoon. They also do a pretty good job being really faithful to the original, and that's really appreciated, especially coming from that first movie they did a while ago. Hot piece of dookie they made, dog. That was terrible. Never want to see something like that again. And I think Netflix is starting to evolve. Every time they put one out, an adaptation out, outside of Cowboy Bebop, they just continue to improve or stay really faithful. I think this is slightly more faithful and looks identical to the original more than One Piece did. But now that I've gave Netflix their props, I also gotta say, why did they butcher the intro? And they only played the intro once, but it's like all you had to, they stayed so faithful to everything else. All you had to do was pull the exact quote from from the original show. Why did they just why does Hollywood or every adaptation feel the need to change stuff that doesn't need to be changed? They kept the outro song the exact same. It's like, okay, whatever. I blew it off because everything else they did so well with. And it was so fun to see some of the moments exactly from the show, like the dude with the cabbage. They put a lot of Easter eggs in here, and it's just so fun to see, and it actually made me laugh sometimes. But we do have to bring up how bad the acting is in this show. Oh my God. Actually, I let me lighten up a little bit on it. It dives from being really bad acting to sometimes being some pretty good acting, like decent acting. It's never like, wow, they did a really good job. The best actor in here, I believe, was Iroh because he was funny and he's also my favorite character. A really good job with Iroh. They did a good job with Zuko. They really made sure they fleshed out Zuko's story, and I think the actor for him does a pretty okay job. He just looks kind of weird, you know. The burn on his face is not going to look really good compared to how cool it looks in the show. The CGI is decent. Sometimes it's kind of wonky and iffy, but you can tell they really spent their CGI money on the fights. The bending in the fights is so good. I think the fighting is the best part of this show. They do some really gruesome kills, like the firebenders have no mercy. And it's a lot of times that they caught me off guard because this is supposed to be a kid's show. They go from talking all sweet and stuff to just burning people alive. And it's actually pretty crazy that they put that in here. I did not expect that at all. People are dying in very gruesome ways to firebenders. Another thing I wanted to mention is that they did a good job with the music, but sometimes the music is not matching the scene very well, or maybe it's just turned up a little bit too much. Okay, I'm having a freaking stroke here. I can't talk right. Sometimes the music does not match the scene, and it's like too suspenseful and too hyped up, and it's like, calm the music down. This is not what's needed here. But like I said, great costume design too. Man, everything when it came to setting up the design of this show was spot on. The costumes are almost one for one. I also wanted to mention how Sokka whoever plays Sokka does a really good job. His voice sounds just like him. He does a good job outside of sometimes where there's some iffy acting. He does a good job portraying Sokka. None of his jokes land, maybe because I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm pretty sure the Sokka in the original show did a lot better. Katara, they do a good job trying to make the Katara actor. I don't know who it is. These are all new people. I've never seen any of these people before. But Katara, she does a pretty good job. She does a good job acting like Katara. She just doesn't look like her character Like not nearly as close as any of the other actors look like their character. Then there's Aang. I thought the Aang actor was a girl at first, and I was about to get really mad, but no, he's just a little boy, and I guess he has to grow he's still growing, you know, his manly features need to come in. He does a great job with Aang. Obviously, it throws me off a little bit because Aang's voice was maybe a little bit deeper than that, and sometimes he sounds like a girl. But I can't fault him for that. This kid does a great job, and you can tell that he cared about playing Aang. They said that he watched like the whole show, like 26 times. So I know he's doing the best he can, and props to him for doing a good job with Aang. He shows his mature side and his fun kid side. There was one very awkward part of the show where Sokka just kept having these odd sexual tension moments, and they kept doing it. They did it like 2 or 3 times, and it was like, okay, we get it. They like each other. There's sexual tension here. It was kind of weird and forced in this kids show where they could have left it at once the first time when he grabbed her waist, but then they did it a second time where she's on top of him and they're just breathing heavy. Like, ah. It's like they almost wanted to make a sex scene. Like, okay, calm down. Everybody knows that they talk and that they like each other. We get it. But I think the thing that put a smile on my face the most was seeing them adapt the actual moments from the show. Like Aang when he's spinning around in the intro of the television show, of the cartoon, I mean, and then they do the same thing when he's spinning around on his air ball and then he slams into the rock. It was so nice to see stuff like that. The cabbage guy, and it's so nice to see Iroh moments. My favorite character throughout the cartoon was Iroh, and they do a great job bringing him over. I think that he's the best. He does the best acting job, and he does a good job portraying Iroh the best way possible. He has his funny moments and he has his serious moments and he has his sincere moments. And they do a good job portraying how he lost his son and pulling at your heartstrings. That was probably one of the first moments to make me cry as a kid, seeing Iroh and how he lost his son and the song that plays when it was nice hearing that. It was nice hearing that song on there because it's a good song and it's really sad. And yeah, I could feel the same sadness from the cartoon into the TV show. They did a good job with that. So overall, this show is decent. It's very mid. They do a great job. I just appreciate the way they bring everything over into live action. But they lose me with the acting. They do change up like very small things about the story, the plot. But that doesn't really bother me because it was nothing huge. It's just that the acting brings it down so much, man. Some of the moments are really bad. It started to pick up at the end though. Like the last 2 episodes, the acting seemed to have gotten a little better. I guess that's the sacrifice of not using big names maybe, or just using all brand new actors. And I can't completely blame it on the actors. You know, the writing could be better. You know, the actors are just working with the material they have. I'd say this is a 6 or 7 out of 10. It's just the acting that brings it down so much. It was well paced. I'm glad they didn't try to shove the whole show in here. So I can't wait till the next season to see if the actors improve and see Aang a little older, because it's like we get to watch this kid grow up in real life and with the show. So just like it was in the cartoon, I'm looking forward to the next season. And it was a good chill watch, nothing to take serious. So it's exactly what I expected it to be. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked the video, think about subscribing. And if not, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.